Angeles or London or Tokyo. And the fourth key issue is they would avoid corruption problems. In fact, they would take measures to be anti-corruption. So those were the four key areas: human rights, labor rights, environmental issues, anti-corruption issues. And those four areas were put into 10 principles. And basically, a company could sign if they believed they would bring those four key areas or 10 principles into their strategic planning. And they would be a company that tried to advance human rights, labor issues, and environmental concerns, and anti-corruption issues. We launched the Global Compact in the year 2000. We had 40 companies initially sign up, and I was asked to be on the board of directors, so I've been right involved from the start. We thought it would be kind of a group of elite companies which would set the standards for the world, kind of a set of ideals, and be role models for other companies. Much to my surprise, it's quite popular. We have over 6,000 companies in 135 countries that have signed up for the Global Compact. And basically, when you sign up, you agree not to do any harm. That's the major premise in the area of human rights, labor issues, environmental issues, and corruption issues. And try to do good. If you have the resources, a company signing up for the Global Compact is invited to try to take on a project in the world where they can advance what's called the Millennium Development Goals, which are a set of goals set by the United Nations to overcome dire poverty in the world. And we've had a lot of companies have taken on projects. And as you may know, we just had a conference here last weekend which I organized, and we selected 10 of the best companies to come make presentations on what they were doing to try to advance the Millennium Development Goals. And companies like Microsoft was here, Nestle's, Sumitomo Chemical, which is a Japanese company, Novartis Pharmaceutical Company, Merck Pharmaceutical Company. And you can get all the information on that conference on our website, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And in fact, you can get all the videos of presentations that were made by those companies by the end of the week. They're not quite up yet. They're still, the IT people are working on them. But let me just show you a short video on the Global Compact, which gives you an overview of what we were trying to do. I have several brochures on the Global Compact. I don't have enough, so I think there's just 2 here. I asked to pass them around. You can get a quick overview. You can also get the website of the UN Global Compact, and in fact, download that brochure and about 100 others. I mean, it's loaded with information. It would take you a week to read everything. But if anybody wants to look at that in more detail, that brochure, copy down the website address, or just spend at your leisure some time looking at the UN Global Compact website, because it's filled with very helpful information about the area of business ethics and corporate citizenship.
Corporate citizenship is not just an idea whose time has come. It is also the wave of the future.
I believe in this ideal of a relationship between public and private sector. I also believe that in order for the private sector to fulfill its goal of promoting economic growth and development, it must be transparent and it must contribute to combating corruption.
A cidadania corporativa é a resposta para combater a miséria e a exclusão social.
The bigger the power, the bigger must be the responsibility.
By participating in the UN Global Compact, we hope to continue our efforts to contribute to a world in which everyone benefits from globalization.
We believe that as the world becomes increasingly networked, it's more important than ever that public and private sectors work together towards creating a sustainable global society.
Together, in partnership, we can offer more hope, greater opportunities, and better tomorrows for everyone.
Signatories of the Global Compact can do a lot to empower developing countries. This they can do through the business practices that they adopt in interacting with those countries. Secondly, they can also do in the way that they support the implementation of global development initiatives.
Corporation citizenship must include responsibility to safeguard and develop these key elements of life for our future generations.
For the sake of a better future for all of us, we must engage government, civil society, and business in a spirit of true partnership. The Global Compact is the creative answer to building the bridges we need between all stakeholders through investment in the future of humanity.
So I think that video gives you an idea that this is a global organization. You had CEOs of major companies throughout the world speaking there, advancing the idea of the Global Compact. This video gives you an idea of some of the projects. Very short, but
Today, I'm pleased to acknowledge that in the past 2 years, our relationship has taken great strides. I propose that you, the business leaders here gathered in Davos, and we, the United Nations, initiate a global compact of shared values and principles which will give a human face to the global market.
We look at fair labor very seriously, and we do it in two places. One is the cocoa farm, the other is the factory. Every factory worker starts their day, they get up in subsidized housing. They take free bus to the factory if you're a line worker. We have an on-site canteen, so you get 3 square meals a day, hot meals. Every factory worker is now a shareholder in the company, so they stand to benefit economically from gains in productivity. The whole Omanhini venture was modeled on sustainability, an arm's-length business relationship between Omanhini and the government of Ghana. And to prove up this business model, Omanhini has to grow, and we have to carry along cocoa farmers and the production facilities in Ghana with us.
Rio Tinto's Diavik Mining Company operates near the Arctic Circle at Lac de Gras in search of diamonds deep within the lake's bedrock. The company is not only dedicated to preserving the environment, but also to working hand in hand with the local population.
All our lakes have a lot of wildlife, and the elders are saying, Joe, you want to make sure that when you deal with mine, our wildlife are protected, our land's protected, our water's protected.
Our people would like to be employed, and our people would like to be trained. And that's what one of those requests that we asked for in our impact agreements.
Rio Tinto hired local people to perform jobs that are long-term and will contribute to a sustainable economy of the area.
So we think we're putting a lot of things in place
that'll help that capacity build and to be a legacy once we're finished mining it.
For some, it's a nightmare. For many, it's reality. Let's support human rights, labor, and the environment. Let's give a human face to the global market.
We cannot fail in this endeavor. Too much is at stake. Globalization and open markets are at stake. Ending world poverty is at stake. So too are human decency and the future of the planet. We do not have identical interests in this room and our identical priorities, but we do have common interest. Let the Global Compact become the space in which those common interests can take root and flourish.
So you see the premise of the Global Compact is that business, particularly big businesses, are extremely important to the common good, not only because they produce goods and services, and that's what business is all about, as I'm sure you know or will know. They produce and they enhance the quality of life for the great majority of us. But also because business has so much power, they might be able to help people get into the market. You know, there's over 1 billion people in the world who don't have any marketable skills. And business might be able to use their power to bring people into the market by helping people gain those marketable skills. And so that's what the 3 examples were designed to help us see, that businesses using their power in Ghana, for example, where young people pick the cocoa beans that we so enjoy in chocolate bars, then they quickly moved us up to the Arctic Circle, where people were learning job skills who prior to that didn't have any. And then thirdly, just looking at a sweatshop and seeing how that business could enhance their quality of life and treat people decently. So those are kind of the broad outlines of the function of the Global Compact. Any questions or comments at this point? Let me just show you the website of the conference we just had. And again, you can look this up on your own. And it's on the website for the Mendoza College. Let's see if we can get it here. This was the website for the conference we just ran here a week ago. It was called the Millennium Development Goals, the Global Compact, and the Common Good. As you know, this year the University of Notre Dame has dedicated its theme for the year to the global economy and the common good. And so we thought in the business school we ought to have a conference which shows how business can contribute and is contributing to the common good. And we picked out some of the best companies in the United Nations Global Compact who are doing projects. For example, one project that was discussed here last week was a project by the Merck Pharmaceutical Company. As you may know, they have antiretrovirals, which is the medicine you take if you have HIV/AIDS. And one of the problems in the world today is a lot of people that have HIV/AIDS don't have any money. For example, there are 25 million people in sub-Saharan Africa who have HIV and can't afford medicines. The pharmaceutical companies said, what can we do? We can't certainly solve everything. We can't give free medicines to 25 million people, but we can do something. And Merck decided to adopt one country. They adopted Botswana, where there are 30% of the people have HIV. And they teamed up with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the government of Botswana and are providing medicines and care to, at the moment, 90,000 people are getting antiretrovirals. 90,000 people are alive today because Merck started this project 6 years ago. So that's one example that was discussed at length, and you can listen to it on the videotape on the Mendoza College website sometime before the end of the week when it gets up. But let me just show you the website. Again, you can spend a lot of time here. We give an overview of what we're trying to do with the conference and why the Millennium Development Goals are important. Then there's a detailed agenda. And then we have a little bit about each speaker that was at the conference. The first speaker listed there is a bishop, a Catholic bishop of the Diocese of Rustenburg, South Africa. That's where major platinum mines are. And a lot of people are working very hard in mines, and they're migrant workers, and the HIV rate is 35%. And the bishop has gone out to businesses and said, can you help, particularly the platinum mines who are there, can you help us provide medicines and care because we don't have the money? And with the funding he's received, he's built a series of clinics, and he's provided medicine and care for a lot of people who would probably otherwise be dead. There's a short video which talks of his work, and we'll try taking a look at it.
Tapologo began in a very humble way, the experience of working in extremely poor situations, shack settlements and villages, and coming to terms with the growing HIV infection rate since 1992. The tremendous challenge this would be to us as people of faith and as people who wanted to respond to this reality. We had a dream and I think a spirit within us which we wanted to translate into programs, a spirit of profound reverence and care for the poor and vulnerable of our society so that they could feel safe, loved, protected, and be able to choose life and live positively, accompanied by professionalism in the programs that we would administer to respond to all their needs. As communities, we had to respond to the total need of people facing this pandemic by building programs which would be run by people from the communities, never judging people, to meet them with profound reverence that we walk on sacred ground when we are with the poorest and most vulnerable in society. So we started with the home care nursing program. Women and men from the communities trained in nursing care in their homes, the homes of the sick and the affected families, and also in counseling skills to be able to walk with these people, give them relevant.
I'm just going to whet your appetite. You can go to this website and see it's a 15-minute video. But basically, he talks about how he was able to help these people with the help of business that provided not only money but medicines and expertise. Often what the poor lack is management skills. And those of you who work with poor know that that's the major problem. And so business can lend its time and resources, which are often management skills, in helping people deal with problems. Other major speakers, just to whet your appetite, and you can go back to this website, Sir Mark Moody Stewart, the former CEO of Shell, the chairman of the board of Anglo American, which is a large mining and extraction company. There's an interesting video he has on here which talks about the whole sustainability issue. Georg Kell, who's the executive director of the UN Global Compact, talks about what the purpose of the compact is. Ambassador Philip Parham, who is the representative from the United Kingdom at the United Nations, was here and gave a very inspiring talk about the role of governments in trying to partner with business. Ambassador Parham, I happened to meet him at a UN meeting, and he's quite busy and dignified, and I didn't think we'd even ask him because he's so busy. But he was sitting next to me at a luncheon at the UN, and he said, I always wanted to come to Notre Dame. I'm a devout Catholic, 7 children, and I said, you've got an invitation. And so he was here and gave a very inspiring talk. So all these people have interesting videos. I might just, one that I'm in is an interview on the Global Compact. We'll just show you a couple minutes of that, because it helps you understand the Global Compact, I think.
The UN Global Compact sponsored the 2010 Leaders Summit in New York this past June. If Davos Forum is a meeting for elite capitalists, the UN Global Compact Leaders Summit is for all businessmen who take business responsibilities in society seriously. Today on Heart to Heart, we'll meet with the director of UN Global Compact, Oliver Williams, and learn more about the business ethics of the 21st century. Welcome to Heart, I'm Colleen Park. Many scholars from abroad have been invited to teach during the summer semesters here at the University in Korea, and today's guest is one of them. Please welcome Oliver Williams from the University of Notre Dame. Welcome.
My pleasure to be here.
Yes, welcome. This is your second visit to Korea, I understand?
Yes, about a year ago I was here just for a week. It was a program sponsored by the United Nations and Kyung-hee University on global citizenship. And that sort of whet my appetite to come back again.
I see. What was your first impression then, and why did it whet your appetite to come back?
Well, when I got off the airplane and was driven along the highway and looked at the... So, in any event, it's there. You can look at it. There's actually 2 videos, and a lot of the discussion is on the Global Compact. So I think what I had hoped to do is to give you an idea that this is a pretty prevalent theme in the College of Business Administration here at Notre Dame, to try to involve our students not only in developing your head, that is, competencies in marketing and accountancy and management and financial studies, but also developing your heart. Trying to be creative and find ways to reach out to the least advantaged. We've got some major companies who are doing that, and that's what we highlighted here in the conference. Questions or comments? Please. Well, I do an elective called Spirituality in Business. And there's always some undergraduates and MBA students who take it. And I think your religion gives you a good motivation. I don't think you can wear your religion on your sleeve when you're working for Alcoa or General Motors, because it could be divisive. If I'm a Muslim and you're a Christian and I own the company, and I say everyone's got to pray together, it doesn't work well. But you can bring your spiritual values. It seems both like Muslims and Christians and Jews and Hindus all believe in the dignity of the human person. And so the way I relate to you is going to be reflected by my deep religious conviction. And so I think it's very important. And some of the best business leaders are spiritual men and women. people who do have convictions along some of the traditional religions. Yeah.
Does the Global Compact have any plan or pressure other companies to join, such as Nike or companies that might be otherwise reluctant to follow good practices?
Nike is a member.
Really?
And you can dial them in on the Global Compact website and read the report from last year. When we started the Global Compact in 2000, Nike was one of the first companies to say, could we join? And as you may remember, they were just coming out of a terrible cloud then. They were accused of running sweatshops and making money off the backs of the poor. And in all fairness, I think they probably were, but they have turned things around. Their board hired a lot of new people and made sure all their subcontractors follow a very good code of conduct. And unless they treat their workers well in these developing countries, they don't get their contract renewed for making gym shoes or athletic equipment. So Nike has become a model employer, it seems to me, in poor countries. And there's always a lag time between the reputation you have and what you're really doing, as you're going to find out. And I suspect a lot of people still think Nike is a scoundrel, but I'm not sure I don't think it's true. Yeah.
How does the Global Impact make its efforts known to the consumer?
It's called the Global Compact. Impact is a good word too. But how does the Global Compact make its efforts known to consumers? That's probably an area that we need to improve upon. An awful lot of consumers aren't aware of the Global Compact. A company, in its annual report, and they have to file a report each year on corporate citizenship or sustainability, whatever they want to call it, says right in the report they are a member of the Global Compact, and here's the website, here's where you can find more out about it. And that's probably the primary way right now. Now, a lot of students in business schools, through courses like mine, although I think we're probably the only business school that has the only sole course on Global Compact, but a lot of courses mention it. They attune students to it. They get them on the website, and they're learning about it that way. But I think we have a lot more work to do to get the word out about what Global Compact is doing. Over here. For a company to be a part of the Global Compact, all they have to do is to say, we are going to try to bring these principles into our strategic plan. And the CEO has to write a letter to the Secretary General of the United Nations saying, we are going to try to bring human rights, labor rights, environmental issues, and anti-corruption issues into our strategic plan. And then you have to agree to write a report every year showing what you're doing and how well you're doing, and how far you are from your ideals. You don't have to have all the ideals realized. It's like being a Catholic. You know, we all have ideals. If we all had to be perfect to get in church on Sunday, the building would be empty. You know, so you just have to have a set of ideals and aspire towards them. And that's what it takes. We have a lot of companies in China, for example, where human rights have a long way to go. But the companies are showing us how they're working towards trying to advance human rights in that society. And frankly, they've made a lot of progress in the last 10 years. Final point. If you're a company that signed up for the Global Compact and you don't turn in a report for 2 years, we drop you. And frankly, although we have 6,000 companies who are members now, over the last 10 years, we've dropped 2,000 companies. So a lot have been dropped. And for the most part, it's because they didn't submit a report. And probably because they weren't doing well and they didn't want to get it that widely known. See, if you lie on a report, and to my knowledge, there's no examples of that. Why? The big sanction against lying is the press. they'll expose you. And then you'll harm your reputation. And it's certainly you'll find out in finance what they call reputational capital is worth a lot. An awful lot of the value of a share of a company is their good reputation. And so nobody wants to harm that in any deliberate way. But the big sanction is being exposed by the press. Any other points? Thank you very much.